Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fahira Ramadani. मेरा नाम Fahira है, and I'm an economics student in university. You mentioned for the brothers.
Sister, speak slowly but loudly so that we can catch you.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier in the lecture, for brothers having multiple wives is for the good of the wife. And as sisters, how do we deal with this? And
sister, I request you to please speak slowly so that we can understand you. She says she's excited. There are too many people.
Okay. How, as sisters, do we deal with this without heartbreak? And how does it connect with An-Naba verse 8, where it says Allah creates us in pairs? Is the idea of soulmates in the modern world shirk? And can you explain also how does it correlate with Al-An'am verse 97? Thank you.
Sister, sorry, I didn't understand your question. Can you speak slowly?
Okay.
And less words, please.
Okay. You mentioned earlier in the lecture for the brothers that having multiple wives is for the good of the wives.
Yes.
How should we as sisters deal with this without heartbreak? And it is also said in An-Naba verse 8, Allah creates us in pairs. Is the idea of soulmates in this modern world shirk? And how does it correlate with Al-An'am verse 97? Thank you.
Sister asked the question that I said that some of the men in Islam as Muslims are allowed to marry more than one wife to protect the woman. So how does it protect? Is question number one. If you marry more than one wife, does it become shirk? Is that a question? No, it's not.
What does it have to do with the idea of soulmates and Allah creates us in pairs? Do we only stick with one partner for the rest of our life, or how do we be okay with our husbands having multiple?
Sister is saying that what is the question of being in pairs, in soulmates? So if a man has two wives, he has two pairs. He is common. What does the Quran say? Number one, I'll first come to your first part, then second part, you're asking two questions together. How does Islam, when I said that in Islam some men are allowed to have more than one wife to protect the woman. Today, if you analyze, women are more in the world than men. Scientifically, even if you agree men and women are born in same proportion, the female sex is a stronger sex medically than the male sex. So there are more male children dying in the pediatric age than the female children because the stronger sex, women. As life goes on, there are death due to accidents, death due to war, death due to alcoholism. There are more male dying as compared to female. So if you see the average lifespan in the world, a female lives longer than a male, everywhere in the world. The average lifespan, a man approximately 74 years, and women approximately 79.5-year-old. Then depending upon the country, Japan has more long life, Malaysia has more long life than in countries like Nigeria. Differ, but average, the female is a stronger sex medically. Today, in New York alone, there are 1 million female more than male. In USA alone, there are 4.5 million female more than male. In Russia alone, there are 10 million female more than male. If I agree with you, some countries where there is female infanticide like India and China, the female population is more because of evil practice. They kill the child when she's born. Is it correct? No. So if you stop this evil practice, even in these countries, the female population will be more than the male population. If I agree with you that one female should marry only one man, okay, there will be more than 4.5 million female in USA who will not find husband. There will be 10 million female in Russia who will not find husband. There will be more than 10 million female in the whole of Europe who won't find husband. So what should they do? The only option for her is she becomes the public property or she marries a man who already has a wife. Public property, such a harsh word. It is the most sophisticated word I can use. Allah says in the Quran in Surah Ar-Rum chapter number 30 verse number 21, He has put love between the hearts of the man and woman. So, Allah says in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah chapter 2 verse number 187, Hunna libasul lakum wantum libasul lahunna. They are your garments and you are their garments. That means your wives are the garments of the husband and the husband are the garments of the wife. They are supposed to protect each other. They are supposed to beautify each other. They are supposed to support each other. The role is of a hand and glove. You asked me the question, Surah Anam, chapter number 6, verse number 97. It's a verse I quoted in my talk. Surah Anam chapter 6 verse 97.
Correct.
What does it say? It has no link with your question. What does it say?
That we should follow the stars for guidance. And how
But what is this question got to do with husband and wife?
Oh, I was asking if the idea of soulmates is shirk.
Soulmates is shirk.
Like only having one.
What has this question got to, what has this verse? He who will make the stars as a beacon for you and may guide you yourself. Of course, the stars do guide us. Don't you know, astronomers, when the people who go in the ship, they use the star to know the direction. They didn't have the GPS which we have today.
Yes.
So correct, what's wrong? Where does this got to do with the soulmate?
Yeah, because these days in Gen Z or probably modern society, mistaken this verse as astronomy.
Oh, you're talking about zodiac signs.
Astronomy or astrology.
Sister, you're jumping from here to there and everywhere. Everywhere you're jumping. Asking this question, that question. You have to ask one question, you're asking 3, 4 question. This verse of the Quran is talking about stars which guide you where to go.
Yes.
What you're talking about, zodiac star, that is not allowed. It's haram in Islam. Allah says in Surah Ma'idah, chapter number 5, verse number 90, Ya alladhina amanu, O you believe, innamal khamru wal maisaru, most certainly intoxicant gambling, wal anzabu wal aslamu, dedication of stones, divination of arrows, these are rich min shaitan. It's the Satan's handiwork. Abstain from that, you may prosper. All these astronomical signs talking about future is all haram in Islam.
Okay, thank
But
you.
this verse is not talking about that. This verse is talking about star as a sign of Allah, it guides you. So don't mix two verses, please. So fortune telling is haram. Zodiacal sign, are you Libra, are you Ariel, are you Leo? All this is haram. But if star for guiding, for astronomy purpose, it's good. And the husband and wife are supporters unto one another. Hope that answers the question.
Thank you.
Can we go to the next question from the brother side on the first mic? Yes, brother. Can I please have your name and your profession before you pose your question?
Sure. Good evening, Dr. Zakir Naik. My name is Nicholas Varney. I'm a teacher and mu'alaf of 10 years. I converted to Islam before marrying my wife, who is Indonesian. But I still struggle to follow the tenets of Islam. So my question is actually a response to the Bapak earlier. How can I, as a mu'alaf, and not a particularly good one, be a better imam for my wife and my 2 daughters?
The brother said it is a mu'allaf. The people of Indonesia and Malaysia will understand the meaning of mu'allaf. Mu'allaf means a revert. He was a non-Muslim, became a Muslim, means a convert. So in English, people don't know the meaning of mu'allaf, but in Indonesia they know. And this has been televised everywhere. So the brother is a revert, mashallah. He accepted Islam more than 10 years back. Correct. And he's struggling to yet, according to him, to be a very good practicing Muslim. He says, how can he be a better husband to the wife? And the second part is?
A better father, in particular, to my 2 daughters.
And how can he be a better father to the 2 daughters? The best solution, whether it can be, is that you read the Quran in the language you understand the best. If you don't understand Arabic, read the English translation of the Quran and you implement on it. I have given a talk on women's rights in Islam. In that, there is one section called as social rights, and one section is wife. What are her duties? What are your duties to them? And I quoted one earlier, that Allah says in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah chapter 2 verse 187, Hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahunna. That you are the garments of your wife and your wives are your garments. What is the role of garment? Is to beautify one another, is to support one another, is to protect one another. In Islam, man and woman are equal. But equality doesn't mean identicality. Depending upon the physiological makeup, the biological makeup, the psychological makeup, the roles of man and woman are different. In some aspect, they're identical. In some aspect, they're different. Overall, they're equal. So you, as being better, you have to follow the Quran and the hadith of the Prophet. The Prophet said, the best Muslim is he who is best to his family, especially his wife. That means, if you have to be a good Muslim, you have to be good to your wife. Being good to your wife means of taking care of her, loving her, seeing to it that you are following the Quran and the Sahih Hadith, seeing to it that she also follows Quran and Sahih Hadith. Taking care of her and trying to solve the problem, both are equal. But you are the Qawwam, means you are the man who Allah has given more strength, so you are the head of the family. But head of the family doesn't mean that you have to boss over. And I'm sure you may not be bossing over. When required, yes. So you have to love your wife, be kind to her. And for your wife, she has to love you and obey you. So it both is complementary, role is complementary. So your Jannah depends upon her Jannah depends upon you. You know, once there was a revert who came to me and he said that, you know, I'm a revert, but my wife, you know, she doesn't please me at all. I always get angry with her. She will not go to Jannah. I said, why? Because the Prophet said that if the wife makes the husband angry, the angels will curse. Therefore, my wife will never go to Jannah. I said, what about you? I said, what happened to me? I told him that one of the criteria, what does the hadith say? Your wife will go, the angel will curse her if you get angry. Why do you get angry? If you don't get angry, angels won't curse her. So who's to blame for angels cursing her? You. And Allah says in Surah Al-Asr, chapter number 103, verse number 1 to 3, Wal Asr, Innal insana lafi khusr, illa alladhina amanu, wa amilu salihati, wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. By the token of time, man is very in a state of loss, except those who have faith, those who have righteous deed, those who exhort people to truth, those who exhort people to patience and perseverance. So if you want to go to Jannah, you have to be patient. By you getting angry, you are putting yourself in hell and putting your wife also in hell. If you do sabr, you will go to Jannah, wife will go to Jannah. And after that, the problem was solved. First he was thinking, I'm macho, I'm man, you know, my wife will. After I explained to him the hadith of the Prophet and the Quranic verse, MashaAllah, the problem was solved. Both are very happy. And inshallah, your wife also will be very happy with you. I don't know the personal problems, but I pray to Allah that you read the Quran, you read the hadith, and there are various, and you listen to my talk, Women's Rights in Islam. Coming to your daughters. In that talk of mine, there is also a section called as daughter. It's your duty that you have to educate your daughters. Number one, educate about the deen, then even about the world. Deen is first. Love them, care for them. And the Prophet said, if any Muslim, if any parent upbrings two daughters with love and affection till they mature, you will go to Jannah. You will be like this to the Prophet on the Day of Judgment. So if you take care of your two daughters, even I have got two daughters, you know, so they are my pathway to Jannah. The Prophet said if you bring two daughters with love and affection and proper care and upbring them, you will be like this two fingers, as close to this, in paradise with me. So if you take care of your daughter, love them, respect them, educate them, give them the knowledge of deen, and so that they love you, you will get Jannah. So you get Jannah through your wife, through your daughters. Your wife gets through you, your daughter gets through you. Everything is complementary. Hope that answers the question.